start recording again. I have orange, yellow. Hopefully I can get some green. Listen, this is how we're going to just keep it afloat. We're just going to keep this whole thing a buck and just respect the fact that sometimes you're just going to have kinks in your system, very much like my life. So first things first, I'm going to get everything cracking from the top. I like to play a little game called 1 to 10, 1 to 10. And 1 to 10 is a really simple game. You just kind of tell me about where you put your day from 1 to 10, 1 being the absolute worst, the absolute atrocious, and then 10 being the absolute best. So you let me know where you stand in the whole midst of everything. And to be completely honest with you, even though you guys, I overslept my entire gym session this morning. That was horrible. I thought that my day was, I really thought my whole day was over because of me missing the entire gym session. But it's okay. I kept moving. I kept everything afloat. And luckily, my trainer was able to work with me, and he was actually able to meet at a later time. Everything worked out well, which leads me into my point about my trainer. I'll let you guys know tomorrow I got the one and only Kyle coming in. He's going to be sitting on this couch with me, and we're going to be talking about fitness, his fitness journey, his journey as an entrepreneur, his journey as a father. And it's the overall things we always cover on the show. But, this is somebody who I can honestly and comfortably say that I look to as a hero, an inspiration. And I'm going to tell him to his face because he is somebody that I truly, truly do admire on every front of life. So, yeah, I'm going to luckily be able to capture this moment in time. Kylie should be here, which is his daughter, who's 10 times cooler than him on every front. But I don't know if she's going to be on camera, but I'm going to hook up a mic for her so she can, if she has anything to add to the conversation, I'll be sure to add it in, of course, so you guys can hear. But, yeah, tomorrow's show is going to be a lot earlier. It's going to probably be around 12:30. He's a busy man, and that's the only time he has available, so I'll go ahead. I will take it. Beggars cannot be choosers. So, yeah. Anyways, as for today's live, I wanted to talk about something in the content creation space, right? So being in content creation, I find myself picking up and learning a lot about just how other people make their money, or essentially their monetary means, through the internet. At one point, there were jobs that never really existed, very much like myself, a social media content creator. Marketing used to be very traditional, whether it was in a television commercial or billboard or magazine, things of that nature. But as you can tell, with times, things have transitioned. And one of those things very well has been platforms such as TikTok, right? So as you guys very well know, make sure you follow me on TikTok if you don't already. But TikTok is great for posting essentially 5-minute clips, or 5 minutes, 5 to 15-second clips about whatever you're trying to say. Now, obviously, TikTok has expanded the platform and has allowed people to have 1 minute and, 1 minute, 3-minute conversations. But ideally, the juice of the entire of the whole overall TikTok conversation is just quick, segmented, kind of trendy like content. Now, what does that have to do with today's conversation? Today's conversation is all about NPCs, which is non-playable characters. If you're not familiar with that actually comes from the root of a gaming terminology, which were kind of like the people in the back of a game, or not playable. Did I say it? Yeah, I just said non-playable character. I hope I said it right. Non-playable characters, which are kind of like the people in the background of the entire show. They were kind of just present, but they really didn't have a lot to do with it. They were just filler characters. Now, in the gaming community, if somebody refers to you as an NPC, it's definitely an insult. There is no question about that. So as we actually start to evolve within technology and evolve within the social media conversation, other things such as influencers and content creators have kind of shifted the knob, or shifted the conversation on what we deem as acceptable. Now, this takes me to where we are today. There's this thing called NPC. They loosely use the phrasing NPC fetish at the end of it. It's kind of this idea of people who are acting like characters online, or people that don't really genuinely, I want to make sure I say this right because I don't want to offend anybody, but essentially they're characters who act as characters more of like your anime type, if that makes any sense. Now, right now, I just want to give you a quick backdrop on how the NPC culture and the gaming culture and the computer culture kind of works, because you have to get a background on it before you see me go in on this conversation, because it's going to sound crazy. Now, understanding that, people on TikTok have taken this to a whole new level. The whole NPC kind of trend personalities, we can say, have expanded to levels that I don't think we ever actually saw coming. So let me summarize your TikTok live stream kind of feed right now. So you'll say online, and you'll just be essentially, you're sitting there acting as if you're in a loading screen. If you ever play GTA, or if you ever play GTA, any game at all, any type of computer game or video game of that measure, you understand what an NPC is. And essentially, it was the gesture that you created before the actual show or before the actual game got started. Now, I remember one of my favorite loading screens of all time has to be NBA Street Volume 2. And mind you, I don't have a lot of games, so it's easy for me to remember the ones I go to. It was NBA Street Volume 2. I used to play this guy named Stretch. He was huge with a huge afro, and he always had some 70s kind of slang to go with, and I just thought that was cool. You fast forward a little bit, there was a game better known as Midnight Club 3. They always had big timers playing. That was and the rims were spinning during every loading screen. I love that. That was just part of my childhood. But today, due to people's lack of social ability or social skills, you're starting to see that people are starting to act as the non-playable characters in their loading screen. Now, there's two angles on this. My first angle is obviously this is genius, and the other angle of this is that this is completely stupid. So you have to ask yourself, where do you stand on this spectrum? So firstly, I'm going to unpack the entire conversation being within the stupid realm. It's very easy for people to understand. Why is this stupid? You essentially are sitting here acting as if you're loading. If I were to do it, for example, I would be sitting here doing this. Now, let's just say, hypothetically, somebody sent me a token, right? They sent me a iPhone token. I would say, thanks, guys. Really needed that. Thanks, guys. And every time I got another token, I would essentially repeat that gesture because every token means something different. Now, it does not matter who you are and the type of content you create. You cannot help but to stop and look at these human beings create this or go through these gestures because it's definitely intriguing. Now, there's somebody who's a leader in this entire conversation, and her name is Pinky Doll. The weirdest part about this entire situation is her name. I can't get through her name because if you know, you know. Pinky, if you are somewhat in the young black male community and you are on websites or doing things you had no business doing, you understand if you type Pinky into your search engine, you looked over your shoulders. So firstly, my brain had to unpack the whole idea of Pinky being an acceptable title, but we're going to come back to that. This is me forecasting something or foreshadowing something in the future. So, let me see. Yeah, no, thank you, Fabian. Yeah, it's a wreck right now, bro. I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on with the connection. So I apologize to anybody that's watching right now because the entire Wi-Fi has just gone to shit. So I got to follow up with that to make sure everything is all going copacetic. But anyways, so the entire oh, Lordy. The entire NPC scene, I went there. I'm talking about Pinky. If you were ever Googling or searching anything with Pinky and you are a young black man, you understand that you had to make sure you had your safe search turned all the way off. So mind you, I had to do my research today. Before I got on the show, I did a little research while Ablo was sleeping, and I had to look up Pinky Doll. Now, Pinky Doll is a content creator from Montreal, Canada, who essentially has dominated. She's the Drake of this entire NPC movement, right? She started off very simple, making kind of cute girl content. You guys see me comment about this all the time, where it's just kind of entertaining. She's attractive, so people just accept it. That's what it kind of is. But she started to evolve the conversation. Now, as you very well know, if you do anything, if you get any form of buzz online, you understand that, hey, if you get cracking, people are going to unpack some of your dirty laundry. And best believe they unpack some of her laundry. Yes, she has a spicy website. Yes, she has a spicy platform. Yes, she did all this and then transitioned over. Now, why am I telling you this? My overall question about those people who are on OF or any other platform, any other type of corn websites, understand, I have always wondered, what is the next step for the people who take on this type of content? You know, you can't just, like they say all the time, you just can't go get a normal job. Angela White just can't go get a normal job after she's become dominated in her entire adult field. Kyra Noor can't just go start working at filling an accountant job, even if she has a complete degree in it, because no matter what, she has made a staple for herself within that field. So understand, when I'm sitting here and watching this content, I was starting to think, I said, where did this stem from? There is no way you looked at the internet and said, you know what, this is a great idea. But if you check Reddit, best believe it will be there. And yes, she started her career there. And then it made me think, is this the next step of those who are content creators in that space? Is it possible that those who spend their entire time, who spent their time, especially during COVID, becoming mattress actresses, is it possible that they transitioned over to making NPC type content? Because we have to ask ourselves the overall question. Is this sad for the person composing it or the person who's consuming it? Now, let's unpack the consumer. Let's unpack the consumer part of this before we get to the content creator segment of this. Those who consume this content really digs deep on the overall incel conversation. If you don't know what an incel is essentially somebody, a male, most likely, hate to say it, who spends a lot of their time online conversing or complaining about women on the internet. That's the sad truth of it. Yes, there's probably another more formal terminology of it. If you want that, pause this video, go over to another tab, and you tell me what your proper incel definition is and put it in the comment section. However, for me, it's just people who spend a lot of time hating on the world. But here's the thing about those incels. Those incels are spending their money immensely. So sometimes if you're able to just send in a quick little coin or a token, we should say, and you can get a woman to respond to you, best believe they are going to do it. They are going to do it. So this is where my overall discussion, this is where I kind of unpack the entire thing. Because I remember in 2020, and I'm guilty of it, I did purchase some of those OF accounts at one point in my life because we were all inside. It was a new thing. The money was there. I had extra money. I said, why not? I always wondered where all the women who were making all of the money on the platforms, or even, because that's who's really making the money. Let's be honest. All the women that were making the money on that platform, where do they transition to? What is that next step? And I said this before, it's in the NPC. And here's a prime example of the person on screen right now, better known as Pinky Doll, talking about, not her talking about it, but it's her jumping into her next endeavor of her career. Now, what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to attempt to play one of her videos. I found a compilation of her page, but for some reason I'm very doubtful that those who are watching online are going to have the ability to watch this or understand or even see anything that I have going on, because as you very well know, the stream at the moment is unwatchable. So right now, what I'm essentially doing, I'm just essentially preparing for a great recording, and hopefully you guys go back and watch this later on. So you guys can kind of see on screen, here's the compilation. You guys can kind of see some of the gestures of Pinky Doll here. You see, and it was like little things, before I continue, it was little things just by the outfits that kind of gave me a sign that, hey, guess what? This isn't just quick popping sounds with your mouth. This isn't just fiddling your fingers around. This is, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you guys can see. This is essentially, how do you say this? Sexually triggered content. You can tell. Like it, you can, oh, you guys can't hear anything. That's perfect. I'm going to go ahead. I turned the audio off intentionally. But you guys can kind of see, just whether it's through the dancing, the outfits, whatever it may be, she's flirting with the idea of you saying you can potentially talk to me if you send some tokens in or whatever it may be. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to knock the hustle. Where's my mouse? I'm going to get back. ISO on me real quick. Here we go. So I'm not going to knock the hustle at all, because I often ask myself, before you criticize someone else, you have to ask, would you do it yourself? Right? If I had the opportunity to make money essentially acting as a fake character, would I do it? And I said, yes. This is my issue with it. The only beef I have with this entire operation is that those who go to Comic-Con, Anime Expo in downtown LA, if you're not this committed to your costume or this committed to your craft, I often ask myself, what are you doing? I think there's nothing wrong with NPC content if you're somebody who literally lives as the character. If you're somebody who used to walk, I'm from LA, right? So in LA, if you're familiar with like the Hollywood Sunset region, you have to understand that there's a lot of people who dress up in costumes and walk up and down the street. They act as actors or actresses or things in that nature, and then you're able to take a picture. But sometimes the picture isn't free. You got to pay for it, and that is the finesse right there. If you're able to take a picture with fake Spider-Man, he's going to charge you $1, $3, $5, whatever it may be in order to take the photo. How I look at this is you can probably make more money if you go into character as Spider-Man on live than you can walking up and down Sunset. I think there's less risk. I think there's way more to gain, and most importantly, you can generate a larger audience at the same time. So, is the NPC content actually a great idea? Duh. I kind of walked into that when I said, is it a great idea? I said, is it a good idea? Honestly, it's a great idea. I think that those within that, like I said, the Anime Expo, anime, cartoon, they need to be monetizing on this 1,000%. 1,000%. You have to, oh yeah, I know it's choppy, and I know it sucks. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize to everybody. I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi right now. I just want to keep iterating that. That's something I can't fix, and I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna fix this right after the show. But the going back to my overall, just like I said though, my overall conversation, I think as a people, I think we have found more creative ways to do the jobs that have always existed forever. So, what I want to say is that I do not knock the NPC lifestyle. I do not knock the NPC culture. I do not knock it. I do not think this is the withdrawal of too much internet. People have been doing this forever. One can even make a psychological conversation that we have been acting, those who are at their jobs that they don't really like and they're just going through the motion. One can even say that they're going through the NPC chapter of their life and they're living it for real. I think it's impressive when content creators such as Pinky take the time and actually do it, and then she's doing it all within the realms of her home. Now understand, this is not coming at no little $3 a day, but rumors have it that Pinky is making anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 per stream. That puts you in the six-figure annual mark. If you want to do some quick math, understand that's $10,000 a week. That's $40,000 to $60,000 a month. That's 40 times 12, but 40 times 10. It's almost $500,000 a year because she's dedicated and she committed to it. She obviously at one point, and I saw the video myself, she started off with the whole OnlyFans, but she transitioned out of it. And that having an exit strategy is the most important part of any content creator's cringy chapter of their career. See, it's a little bit different for me and what I do. One can consider it cringy. It's okay. I accept it because I sit here and I talk to this camera as a form of therapy because I'm able to get all the thoughts in my head and get them all out. But I understand at one point it's all going to make sense. But right now I'm essentially talking to myself, and it's okay. It's okay. However, I even have an exit strategy with this. Actually, I don't have a true exit strategy with this because I want to do this for the rest of my life. But I do have a strategy on how I'm going to exit being so vulgar with the camera, how I'm being so vulgar with my words. And at the right price point, at the right dollar figure, trust me, I will learn how to stop cussing quickly. Quickly. I'm still going to get my opinion off, but I'll learn how to stop cussing. But yeah, to go back to the overall root of this, y'all, I do not knock the NPC culture at all. I think this is a breath of fresh air I don't call it a breath of fresh air. I would definitely call this this is a career that we have been doing for years. It's just that we are seeing this we're seeing this digitally, and all of a sudden we have an issue with it. If you ever went on the boardwalk anywhere in Venice Beach, California, you have seen this NPC behavior all of the time. But because you're so numb to it, you look at it and you say, oh, you don't even realize what these people are doing. You don't even find it weird. They have taken the entire Venice Beach boardwalk, the whole Sunset Walk. People who dress up. If I actually, as a kid in 2007, I had the blessing of an opportunity to go to Italy. If you've ever gone to Italy, anywhere near Venice, which is kind of, well, the whole country is essentially an island because it's surrounded by water, but Venice is kind of ran by the entire commercialism. That's where all the designers are, or that's not where they are. That's where all of the big stores for a lot of high-end luxury are. There are people who walk up and down the street as mimes. They do the whole ordeal. It's essentially, they're street actors. We have taken the whole street act behavior and we have moved it to the camera, and we have given it a new title called NPC. So do not look at the NPC content creators and call them weird. They are not weird. In fact, they're genius. Some people stand outside with the street actors, and they're probably clearing, if they're lucky, maybe 100, couple hundred, 300, 400. I'll be generous at $500 a day, but they are coming close to Pinky Doll and what she has got going on in her home. Another thing why I appreciate about this entire NPC movement is that during my entire research behind this young lady, I learned that they showed a scene where she broke character. She ended up talking to her 2-year-old son. She sent him to bed, and in the middle of the stream, somebody was sending popcorn, whatever it may be, and she says, didn't I send you to bed? I can tell you guys this, as a proud father, being able to spend as much time with your kid is unmatched. And I'm not saying this because I'm trying to come off as a goody two-shoe or any shit like that. Y'all usually know, I usually got Abelo here with me. But the reason why that is so important is because if you have the ability to see your kid and work from the comfort of your home, doing something, hopefully I didn't lose any of you, that brings a significant amount of money in, best believe you should do it. You should do it. I'm at a point in my career, you guys, where not only am I sacrificing $1 because what I'm doing right now doesn't pay a lot of money, but also I'm even sacrificing time. That's crazy, right? Being able to, when you sacrifice the dollar, when you sacrifice the money and the time, you got to ask yourself, what are you genuinely doing at the moment? Pinky Doll has figured out a way for her to maximize her time and maximize her dollar. When I say time, more specifically, her time as a mother, and maximize the dollar. I think there's nothing wrong with it. Now, this is where things may come off a little interesting. Men within the NPC space. Men within the NPC space is honestly something I'm still trying to wrap my head around. And I really want to know if the men who are acting as characters or acting as these anime personnel, are they seeing the same Pinky dollars? Now, my obvious answer is no. There's no way. I think that in order to prosper in this space, in this field, you have to be attractive. If you do not have that attractive edge, sitting on camera doing the same gesture is only going to come off more cringe, especially if you have a beard. Especially. There's a lot of things that you just can't do, and you have to accept as a man the moment you're able to grow a beard. And NPC is just not it, not unless you are truly committed to it. If you're planning on being an actor or a method actor, I think this is good practice. I think if you're somebody who was once a mattress princess in that type of field, I think this is an excellent transition. If a lot of your audience is incel and they don't really like the world, I think this is an excellent transition. I also think that the whole NPC movement is great because guess what? There's no cursing in it. You know why? Another reason why the NPC scene is great. There's no you can show this content to your kids as a future. Yes, it's cringy. Yes, it's weird, but it's something that you can proudly show to your kids. There's a lot of people who are doing a lot of content online right now that they're not going to be able to show their kids in 10, 20 years. And I'm even saying this while at looking at myself in the entire process. I'm not putting myself above this at all. So understand. This conversation, the entire NPC conversation, I think is a great one. And I think that those who are in it right now are ahead of a wave. I think they're going to be trendsetters. I think that the black people in this space, which my brain is really still trying to wrap my head around, is... let me run this back because I just don't want to start ranting. I think that those who are black within the NPC space... I think they're genius. And I think they're genius because this type of content, this Twitch style of content isn't new. But this type of content was generally dominated by Asians, more specifically Japanese. This type of content was generally consumed with populations that have a decreasing population growth or amount, whatever that head number is. The amount of people in the country every year is slowly diminishing. So to see Americans, but more specifically Black Americans doing this, I think that there is something to say. And I don't know why. I don't have enough information on this, and I'd love to pull some more data up on this conversation. But I think that those who watch this content, who use it as a form of escapism, I often wonder what's wrong with the people outside. I'm never mad. Jay-Z has a notable line. He says, y'all respect the one that got shot. I respect the shooter. Me personally, I respect the content creators in this space. I'm sorry, I didn't realize the camera. I respect the content creators in this space. I respect them because they're getting ahead. I respect them because they recognize what's going on. And I'm respecting them because they found a transition. I hope that they don't get stuck in this. I hope that they do have an exit strategy. But shit, get it while you can. Because I don't see why you even take any time and not do that. I don't know. I'm sorry. I lost y'all. Listen, I'm transparent here, baby. I don't always know what I'm saying. Sometimes I can't close as well. Something that I also found to be quite interesting about this topic is that who are the largest contributors to the overall market? So this is how my brain went. I said, who's the most important person on this space? Is obviously Pinky Doll, and no, not that Pinky. And I said, who are her biggest, largest contributors? And y'all won't believe what I saw. Timbaland, yes, you guys know Timbaland, Missy Elliott Timbaland, Aaliyah Timbaland, Justin Timberlake Timbaland, the world's super producer. Y'all know him? He is one of the major contributors to Pinky Doll's token success. On top of that, we also have ATL Jacob. You guys know the song, I'm not even going to tell you the song. You guys know who Drake is, right? Future. He's actually produced songs for them. Now, this is where my brain went. I went into nigga brain when I saw this. I said, there is no way that these guys are contributing just for the overall love of the content. And then I remembered, pretty privilege. That aesthetic privilege that you get. Because best believe, if I was on live doing that same thing, there is no way they contributing to me at the same amount. So that's where it goes back to my point. If you are a pretty girl, if this is the first opportunity ever. Let me say it like this. This is the first opportunity ever for attractive women to get on board to a style of content that does not diminish your overall relationship status, that does not just diminish your space within the dating world. It does not diminish you within the work world. It does not diminish your character at all. This is a type of content, a trend that attractive women can get on and make some money just doing absolutely nothing. In fact, it's so robotic, you can do it every single day. Even if you did something, you made an extra $200 a day, $200 a day. I want to let you guys know that is $4,000 a month. That's $36,000 a year. Listen, God knew not to make me no woman, because if I was a woman, I'd be doing the NPC feet finder. I would have been on the OF wave. I would have been on every single wave online. So he knew not this one. But understand, those who don't care, NPC is the way to go. There's no other way to go about it. There's nothing else you can do. I'm sorry. There's a lot of other things you can do. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. I get in my little rants and then I just get fired up. Let me see. Is this thing still frozen? I'm gonna go ahead and check on. I'm gonna check on live to see what's going on, because I know that. Yeah, it's stupid laggy. It's stupid laggy. I'm gonna have to erase this episode off the lives channel and just put it up on my regular videos. But yeah, let me see. What does it have an overall time on it? Because that's the only way I'm gonna know how long I've been live. I need to get a clock. Once I have a clock in here, I can really start doing something. I don't know. Anyways, I want to know what's your take on the overall NPC conversation. Do you guys think this is an advancement for humanity? This is an advancement for street actors? Is this a step forward or a step backward for civilization? Let me know. Throw it in the comment section. I want you guys to stay happy, stay optimistic. I'll see you back again for another episode of the Mohammed Cook Show. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to have the one and only Kyle here. Clue Fit to Flex. Like he knows I love him immensely, but I cannot say. It's too many syllables. It fucks up my head. I can't, even the word syllables be stepping on my toes. But anyways, that's all I already got for you guys today. Stay happy, stay optimistic. I'm going to try to get this live and this online shit fixed out, all figured out. See y'all. I'm out. We gone. Let me hit that young thumbnail. Yeah. No, wait. NPC. What is the NPC pose? Should I hit it like a... There we go. There it is. I'm done. We out.